Hello everyone, I'm Idris Abdelkader. Let's do some lessons in math. Let's study the sign. Let's do some math to have fun. Question: do you know your mathematic ID? The answer will be your math ID is the sign. So far as you see on the screen, so we have two table for the sign. Anytime you have a multiplication and then the division, this table is involved. Example, when you multiply a positive by a positive, that turns to positive. And when you multiply a negative by a negative, that turns to positive, which is kind of weird, but that's how it is. And now when you multiply two different signs, and that turns out to negative. It doesn't matter where the positive and then the negatives are, since the multiplication is commutativity. Positive times negative is negative. Negative times positive is negative. All right, this table is for multiplication and the division. So let's take some examples. Positive 2 times positive 3. Since positive times positive equals to positive, you write that over here. Now 2 times 3, that's 6. So the answer is positive 6. The overhand also, since the table is belong to multiplication and the division, let's say you divide positive 4 by positive 2, the answer will be positive, and 4 divided by 2, that's 2. Now, when you have two negative sign, negative 2 times negative 3, since negative times negative is positive, so negative times negative positive, so 3 times 2, that's 6. The overhand also, when you divide a negative value by a negative, that turns out to positive. So 4 divided by 2, that's 2. Now, let's come to two different signs. I have negative 2 times positive 2. According to the table, anytime you multiply negative by positive, that turns out to negative. So 3 times 2, that's 6. The overhand, when you divide a positive by a negative, the answer will be negative. Now 4 divided by 2 equals to 2. Same for this guy. Since we have two different signs, then we have negative. And now when you divide negative by positive, still negative. Now, the second table is concerned the adding and subtraction. This like how the bank works, the system of bank, all the bank in the United States in general, in the world, that how it works, debit and credit. Now, this table is for adding and subtracting. So anytime you add a positive number to another positive, you still have positive. Example, let's say you have a $4 paycheck. You put that in your account at Bank of America, and then you deposit another $2. So your account will be positive 6. All right. Now, if you withdraw at Dunkin' Donuts $4, and then you go to pizza store, you buy $2, two slices, right? Like $2. So this like you withdraw. So it's not like you spend $4, you spend another $2. That means in total you spend $6. Okay, when you have a positive $4 in your account, then you spend $2 in a 99-cent store, your balance will be positive 2. All right, if you withdraw $4 and now you come back, you're adding $2 to your account, the Bank of America tell you, oh, you owe us a negative $2. So let's talk about it in another way around. Now, anytime you have positive 6 adding to positive 2, what happened? Let's try to draw that as a sign. How many positives I have for the first one? 6 positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Adding to another 2 positives. So when you add them in total, the answer will be 10, positive 10. So we have positive 10 over here. Now, if you have a negative 8 and a negative 2, let's symbolize that by signs. How many negatives I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, sign adding to and two negative sign. So when you add them in total, you find yourself by negative 10. So the answer is negative 10. It sounds like you're adding backward. Now, when you have a positive adding to a negative, you count how many positive I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, against how many negative? Two negative. So this guy will cancel each other. This guy will cancel each other. How many positive left? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer is positive 4. Now, if you have a negative 4 adding to a positive 2, let's symbolize it as a sign. How many negative I have? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, against how many positive? 2. This guy will cancel each other. This guy will cancel each other. You end up by negative 2. Now, let's talk about some examples. So I say to simplify the expression, negative factor negative 2 plus factor negative 4 minus factor minus 2. So when you have a parenthesis, that stands for multiplication. Now, if I multiply this negative by this negative, according to the table, that's turned to positive. And this positive multiplied by negative is turned to negative. And this negative times negative turned to positive. So I'll find myself with positive 2, negative 4, positive 2. So if I add these two together, since the signs are different, I will end up by negative 2 because 4 is bigger than 2. So it's taking the sign of the big number. Then I will drop down this 2. So now I find myself by negative 2 adding to positive 2. This guy will cancel each other. So the answer is 0 for this expression right there. Expression number 1. Now expression number 2. I have negative 2 times positive 1, negative, between parentheses, we have positive 4, negative 2. So this negative times this positive turn to negative 2. Now I keep the negative sign outside first. As according to the PEMDAS rule, I have to do what is inside the parentheses. So if I add positive 4 to negative 2, I will end up by positive 2. Now, if I multiply this negative by positive, turn to negative. Now, I will end up by negative 2, adding to negative 2, which is negative 4. So, the expression 2, the answer will be negative 4. Now, expression number 3. I have negative 4 times 1/2 minus 5 times positive 2. So when you multiply minus 4 by 1/2, sounds like you divide the 4 by 2, which is negative 2. So you keep this minus sign. Now when you multiply positive 2 by negative 5, that's negative 10. Now you drop down the negative 2. Now you have to multiply negative by negative. Remember, anytime you have a parenthesis, you're dealing with multiplication. So negative times negative turn to positive 10. So when you add negative 2 to positive 10, the answer will be positive 8. So basically, that's a little technique how to study the sign. So another issue, what about if I have minus 1 to the power n? That's equals to what? Well, the n, we have to discuss the value of n. If n is even number, then minus 1 to the power n will comes out like positive 1. And now, if the n is odd number, then minus 1 to the power n comes out like negative 1. Example, I have minus 1 to the power 2. You can see that the n value is even number. So automatically I can say the answer is 1, positive 1. But let's check that. Minus 1 to the power means what? It means minus 1 times minus 1. So minus times minus turn to positive, and 1 times 1 is 1. Now, if the exponent is odd number, like positive 3, exponent 3, so that means what? I have to multiply negative 1 by itself 3 times. So since I do that, this minus times this minus turn to positive, and positive times negative turn to negative. And that's not only for negative 1, that's like just an example. Any value you take, like -2 or -3 or -4 is still the same thing. So let's say I have negative 2 to a power 2. Since the power is even, so the answer will be positive. But let's check it. -2 times -2 turns to positive, and 2 times 2 is 4. Now here, the exponent is odd numbered, so I have to multiply -2 by itself 3 times. So minus times minus is turned to positive, positive times negative is turned to negative. Now 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8. So I hope this video will be helpful for those who have problem with the sign. I hope to see you next time. Bye.